Okay, it looks like we're up to about 6 guests right now. So I just posted it a couple places as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Again, for some reason, we had technical difficulties broadcasting on Facebook Live. So we apologize for the delay. It looks like, based on what we found, that a lot of other folks are having the same problem broadcasting Facebook Live on Facebook pages. So we'll see if we can get that fixed for the future. It might just be a Facebook glitch for the day, given that so many people are doing these Zoom events. So again, we apologize for the inconvenience. This event will be recorded, and once it's done and rendered, we will get that video posted for everyone to see, along with our announcements from today. So I have a quick prepared remarks that I'll go through in just a second, and then we will touch base with Dr. Peter Lancia, Superintendent of Schools for the Westbrook School Department, where he'll update us on things that are going on with the Westbrook School Department. And then we'll touch base with Daniel Stevenson, our Economic Development Director, who will go over a new program and some existing programs that we have to support businesses here in the community. And then we may have, unfortunately, none of our state representatives could join us today as they had some things come up. And then we may be joined by Suzanne Salisbury, who will talk to us about some of the work that she's doing to help folks in the community with food. And so we'll see if she gets on, as she's not on now. So I'll go through our prepared remarks, and then we'll go through the other things as I outlined. Anytime anyone has any questions, feel free to submit them. Looks like we're getting a crowd now. We're up to 19 guests, so feel free to submit them on the Q&A, and then once we repost it on Facebook, we'll try to get back to folks on any questions that they may have. So to the citizens and visitors of Westbrook, we hope everyone is healthy and well. As we approach our 5th week of this state of emergency, many are experiencing frustration and impatience in complying with the various rules and recommendations. We encourage everyone to hang in there as best they can. Weather soon will improve after this little snowstorm we had, and we can enjoy the outdoors more. Residents have been doing a great job complying with all current and previous rules and recommendations, and we appreciate that. We meet regularly to discuss the city's plans and handling issues that arise to the COVID-19 state of emergency. As we now know, there are nearly 600 confirmed cases, and as of most recently, 17 deaths in Maine, with most of the cases from Cumberland County. There are 15 cases of city residents being appropriately treated, and unfortunately 1 death. Our thoughts and prayers are with those families who are being treated and those who have lost loved ones. There are 3 city employees as confirmed cases that we have previously taken appropriate actions for. We remain in close communication with appropriate officials on developments related to the situation and would like to provide additional updates on the city's response. Ensuring the safety of our employees and the general public while also continuing to provide the critical services necessary to run the city is of paramount importance to us. Police, fire, and rescue, and public services continue to remain operational, and we thank those dedicated employees who continue to serve during this crisis. In order to minimize the rise of exposure to employees, volunteers, and the general public, I've done the following. Previously declared a state of emergency, which remains in effect until further notice. All actions are reported to the City Council on a weekly basis, and previous actions can be reviewed on the city's website. Through a major donation, we are launching the Westbrook Warren Memorial Foundation Emergency Arts Fund. This has received initial approval from the City Council, and applications will be ready today, and Dan will talk more about that momentarily. We previously launched Westbrook's takeout and delivery support effort and contest to support our local businesses, with details available on our website and social media. We have given away 2 $100 gift certificates, and congratulations to those winners. We thank everyone for supporting local businesses, and don't forget to get your entries in. Dan will also talk more about that momentarily. Superintendent Dr. Lancia also announced this week that the Westbrook School Department will continue with distance learning and remote operations for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year. Additional details are on their website regarding their response, and Dr. Lancia will speak to us more about that momentarily as well. Now also confronted with sharp declines in certain revenue sources, specifically auto excise taxes, ambulance fees, and recreation programs, the city has to take immediate action to reduce expenses for the remainder of the current fiscal year, which ends June 30th, 2020. Given the restrictions that the COVID-19 state of emergency has placed on municipal operations, services, and public facilities, many of our functions have been dramatically altered, reduced, and in some cases, temporarily suspended. Given these factors, in order to achieve a balanced budget through the end of this fiscal year, the city has previously implemented a spending freeze and now a hiring freeze for all current vacancies and positions that become vacant for the remainder of the year. The 6 current vacancies exist in police, public services, and dispatch. Additionally, we will be placing 21 municipal employees on furlough, a temporary layoff until emergency measures are lifted and we can resume full operations and services. The furloughed positions are concentrated in the library and community services departments, as both the Walker Memorial Library and Fred C. Westcott Building, also known as the Community Center, have been closed. However, there will be furloughed employees from nearly every department of the city. These 2 actions represent 9.3% of the city's permanent workforce and yields a savings of $325,000 in budgeted expenses through June 30th. Employees who are placed on furlough will no longer receive a paycheck and will be eligible to receive unemployment compensation. Emergency supplemental unemployment benefits being provided by federal and state governments to unemployed workers whose job loss is due to the impact of COVID-19 will generally mitigate the financial impacts on furloughed workers. The city will continue to provide full health insurance coverage to its furloughed employees, most of whom are expected to return to their jobs in 6 to 12 weeks. These are very difficult times for everyone. The city of Westbrook is blessed with an exceptional workforce. Decisions that can adversely impact our dedicated employees are not entered into lightly. However, the city has a legal obligation to maintain a balanced budget, even under these challenging conditions. We continue to rely upon the governor, Maine CDC, and our coronavirus task force for guidance as we continue monitoring this public health situation. We modify all directives as appropriate, and under the continued advisement, we should minimize our public contact in order to reduce the spread of this highly contagious virus. Please continue to practice the rules and recommendations to protect us all. Remember, these preventative actions are being taken out of an abundance of caution and concern for everyone, not panic. We apologize for any continued inconveniences you may experience as a result of these measures. The spread of this virus is a fluid and rapidly evolving situation that requires close monitoring and the need to adapt quickly. We monitor and respond accordingly, along with providing additional updates to everyone should recommendations change. We encourage everyone to check on their neighbors, especially seniors, and help each other out if and when possible. Our thoughts and prayers continue to be with all affected by this crisis. Looking ahead, it seems likely that things may get worse before they get better. Let's remain strong right now to flatten the curve, keep each other and ourselves healthy, and protect our first responders and healthcare providers. Our community is strong, and we will come out stronger. For more information on the city's response, please visit the city's website with links to the CDC and also the Westbrook School Department for their updates. So with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Peter Lancia, the superintendent of schools, to provide us a more detailed update on the issues surrounding the schools and their remote learning for the remainder of the school year. Dr. Lancia?
Thanks, Mayor Foley. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you virtually. I'm glad you were able to attend this meeting. As the mayor said, we did have to announce on Wednesday an announcement I really had hoped we wouldn't have to make. But on Wednesday, we did announce that we would be continuing with our distance learning and our remote operations for the remainder of this school year. That means that our school buildings will continue to be closed, but we will maintain distance learning for all of our classrooms, all of our programs. We will also continue with our meal program, weekdays, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll be still serving curbside at WRVC and conducting deliveries to different homes in the community. And we'll also be distributing books on Wednesdays during the rest of the school year. So even though we did not want to make that decision, I certainly didn't want to announce that. The time has come for us to really continue with the practices that we've been doing to maintain our social distance, to work on our staying home, stay safe initiative, and continue with our distance learning platform. The good news is that that distance learning platform is going pretty well. We are very pleased with the attendance, the participation of our students who are joining their virtual classrooms every day or whenever their classes meet. We're very excited about the learning opportunities that kids have, a whole variety of different learning opportunities, both those that are provided by teachers as well as others that families are doing on their own. Taking a walk outside and having a conversation about things you see on the walk, or playing games like apples to apples, or playing Scrabble, or reading a book, or watching a movie and calling somebody and having a conversation about it. Those are all great learning activities too. So we're really pleased with the learning that's continuing. It's certainly not the same as being in school. All of us would much rather be at school. Physically, doing our work day to day with everybody. I know our kids miss school, they miss their teachers, they miss their friends, and the teachers miss their kids and their friends as well. So we'd much rather be live and in person, but we're fortunate to be able to continue with distance learning through technology. And in support of that technology, I want to mention that on Wednesday night, the Westbrook School Committee met in their regular monthly meeting, and they approved some emergency funding for portable Wi-Fi devices so that we can increase the connectivity of our families. A number of our families throughout the city do not have connection to Wi-Fi. So by having portable Wi-Fi devices or hotspots, we'll be able to provide to families that way they'll be able to have equitable access to our online learning platform. These devices will fall under the federal funding once that comes into play, once the relief funding comes into play as well. But we're really pleased to be able to provide that. So those are being ordered, and those should be able to be out to families who've already contacted our schools, and our schools have been in touch with them to provide that kind of support. Also, some other good news during this closure. I was pleased to meet with our high school seniors yesterday in a virtual meeting. The co-principals are meeting regularly with students, and they've been meeting with the seniors a couple of times, and I was happy to join their meeting. I wanted to reassure them that they were our priority as we work through this challenging time. Now that we know that we will be remote during the rest of the school year, the plans that we've been making and the plans that we've been keeping tentative now need to be firmed up in terms of some of the end of the year celebrations like graduation, class night, prom, and all the other events that surround the end of high school. I assured the students that we would be having graduation. They will graduate from high school if they complete their credits, which they are working hard to do through distance learning. And we will be having those different events, but possibly in some different formats. We're still in the planning stages, contacting some different venues, looking at some different options for ways to have those events, but we will be celebrating the class of 2020 like no other class before. This will certainly be a memorable year for graduation, as well as other events at the high school and at all the other schools as well. I've been on a conference call with elementary principals talking about how step-up days will work, talking with the middle school staff about how the promotion ceremony will work for 8th grade and how we'll welcome our new 5th graders in. We're continuing with incoming kindergarten registration for next year's kindergarten class. So things might look a little bit different, but we still want to make sure that the end of the year activities are happening and that they're celebratory, because our kids deserve that. We've got the most amazing kids who have great stamina and great attitudes. I was so impressed with the seniors yesterday, who were very respectful. I knew they were upset, by what's happening. We're all upset by what's happening, but they really did a great job, and they're really thinking forward and making some really good suggestions. The principals are also polling the students about some potential options as we look at rescheduling some things or keeping to schedules. So even though this was a really difficult week in terms of the decision that had to be made, I'm really pleased at the response from our students, the response from their parents, the community across the district in support of them and in support of our distance learning platform. I'll continue to keep everyone informed. I send an email every night and occasionally a robocall when there's a significant announcement, but we will keep in touch. It's a different way to keep in touch, but we'll certainly be continuing to reach out to you. And I invite anyone to reach out to me or to any of our school leaders, our teachers. We're best available by email, but you can certainly call the superintendent's office. Our phone is being answered remotely from there. So if you call us, we will definitely get back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Lancia, for the update from the school department perspective. That is a very tough decision and disappointing, as you had said. And but I think students have been doing a great job with their distance learning and following the things. I've even had a few students reach out to me who are doing projects that are affected to city-related things and asking questions about the city and stuff. So it's exciting to see that happening with our students. Before, I forgot to mention at the beginning that we have Chief Turcott, who's our fire chief and public health officer, joining us. Before I transition to him, I did want to take a moment to ask a school committee member, Suzanne Salisbury, to speak to us about an effort that she's been doing since this crisis began to help feed families in our community. As folks know, we have a very large free and reduced, or it's just free lunch now, I think Dr. Lancia has said, program in our school for a lot of families that are in need of that support. And we work with groups like the Locker Project and many other organizations that help to bring food into our schools on a regular basis. And where kids aren't going into schools, it's important that we still are able to fill that gap. And Suzanne has been doing a tremendous job trying to go around the community, accepting donations from all kinds of people, from things as peanut butter and jelly to bread to bottled water, to help get that food out and make that food available, in addition to our partners with the Locker Project when folks are either coming to pick up lunch or if they need it at other times. So I just wanted Suzanne to talk about that, talk about what people could do if they want to help out, and just share with everyone this great thing that's going on here in the community. Suzanne?
Well, thanks very much, Michael. I appreciate you letting me have the opportunity to speak about this. One of the things that I'm always impressed with is this community and how everyone is so willing to help and step up in time of need. And this has been no exception. I, along with my mom, started a group called Westbrook Families Feeding Families a number of years ago. And we started providing bags of peanut butter, jelly, and bread that we would give to the elementary schools before school vacation. And we would give about 100 bags that would supplement the food that was given by the Good Shepherd Food Bank and other local organizations. And that we've been doing that for close to 10 years now. And so when this recent, the pandemic started and schools went to distance learning, we recognized that the need is going to be greater, kids at home more, and those kids that rely on school for their breakfast and lunch, where it was going to be more challenging for them. And the people that had already regularly given to us the peanut butter and jelly stepped up and have really come together to help us provide more food. We've probably given out at least 100 bags that have peanut butter, jelly, bread, macaroni and cheese, fruit cups, granola bars, not only to the school to give out during their lunch program from 11 to 1 at the WRVC, but we've also been able to work with the school department's homeless liaison. And we have 34 students in our district that are associated as being homeless, and she's working closely with them. So we've been able to make sure they have food. We've made deliveries to local hotels. We've worked with some local social workers. to help families that have more children, a bigger number of children, that we can provide a little extra food. It's really been a great team effort. It's a wonderful example again of the city and how they want to help their kids and want to help families, and especially during this difficult time. People can reach out on Facebook on Westbrook Families Feeding Families, or they can contact me directly on Facebook and talk about the needs and where they can drop things off. A lot of people drop things off at our coffee shop downtown, the Daily Grind, or I can make arrangements to pick it up. But again, I really am so thankful for this community and the help, and especially the school department, the school nutrition department, for the food that they've been giving out. When you go up there, if you ever have a chance to drive by at a socially distant way to see the food that they're giving out, it's really heartwarming, and you can just feel the care that they are providing. And so we're glad to supplement that in a little way and help any way we can.
Well, thank you, Suzanne, for the great work that you're doing. And definitely, if anyone has any questions or anything, like Suzanne said, you can reach out to her on Facebook. If you do have any questions about things that we're talking about today, be sure to submit those into the Zoom comments, and then we'll obviously repost this later on Facebook since Facebook Live wasn't working. I did want to add also, I know there's many efforts in the community in addition to what Dr. Lancia talked about for the seniors. We will be, working with the school department as much as we can as the city to support, whether it be through banners that go on street signs or light poles and things like that. We're very interested in helping with those types of things to help recognize this is a different year for anything to happen, and we need to do our best to try to recognize and honor those seniors who have put in that tremendous amount of time, and definitely working through the challenges to either delay graduation or something like that would definitely be helpful as things go forward. And I appreciate the work Dr. Lancia and the school committee is doing to work with everyone and specifically the students, and giving them somewhat of a say in what goes on. It's definitely nice to have that. So with that, we will transfer over to Chief Turcotte to just give us a brief update about, from a public health officer perspective, the response in the city of Westbrook regards to the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief, go ahead.
Mayor Foley, thank you very much. Suzanne, what a great opportunity and effort that you're providing. Dr. Lancia, thank you for your efforts. Certainly, I know that you're providing a lot of food as well for a number of the elderly housing complexes. So thank you for that. As always, as a public health officer, I wanted to put a plug in that without everybody working together, certainly this would be much worse on our community. So thank all of you for what you're doing, and thank all the volunteers for what they're doing. In a moment like this, in a pandemic, in this type of crisis, it's very important to note that it creates a lot of fear, a lot of anxieties. So there's still folks out there that it creates social isolation, anxiety, that depression. So help is available. So that's the first plug I want to put out there. There are licensed counselors that are available. There's a neighbor-to-neighbor program. And as always, the state has their 211 program. So for anybody out there that needs this help, please reach out. It is available free of charge. I want to just state that our stats right now, globally, we're at around 1,700,000, 98,000 deaths. And the good news is recovery is just under 400,000. In the United States, we're just under 500,000 confirmed cases, just under 20,000 fatalities, and just over 25,000 recoveries. In the state of Maine, as the mayor alluded to, we're at 586 confirmed cases, 17 deaths. So that's 2 up from yesterday, I believe, and 202 recoveries. So the good news is that from a recovery standpoint, we're seeing some significant increases from that end. One area to note is that we do have a sort of an underreporting value here. So a lot of folks are going to see their physicians and they're not able to get tested, and they may have those symptoms. So when you're out, when you're with folks, just remember that everybody should be considered a likely individual that may have COVID. So just keep that in mind. And with that being said, always keep social distance in mind. Follow the hand hygiene practices. Stay aware of the latest info related to COVID. And you can get that information on the CDC website, on the World Health Organization website, and certainly here on the city website. One thing from our agency, from the fire department agency, we have implemented our phase 2 protocol, our phase 2 pandemic protocol, which means that in the event of a surge in our hospitals, we may be working with our online medical directors and online medical control to have folks that may be less symptomatic, to have them stay at home versus transporting them to the hospital. And the reason for this is just because of capacity at the hospital. Now, we've implemented a lot of measures to ensure that patients are being followed up on. So again, if you're calling 911 and we respond, and if you do not fall into a certain parameter, you may stay at home and self-monitor, but you will have continual follow-up. So that is a change that was just instituted today. And if anybody has any questions related to that, they can certainly follow up with me. One other note is that I've had a few questions sent to my office in regards to the peak. Have we reached the peak yet? At this point, we have not. We don't know what that's going to look like. I know Dr. Shah has been asked that question every single day. The big thing is that if everybody continues to follow the CDC guidelines, it's not going to be as bad as what earlier modeling predictions were. So again, please everybody follow those recommendations: social distancing, hand hygiene. If you're sick, stay home, and we will all get through this. And as always, I'm available for any questions, and I'll send it back to you, Mayor Foley.
Thank you, Chief, for the update on that process. Before we transition into our Economic Development Director, Dan Stevenson, to update us on some of the areas we're helping businesses, I wanted to announce, which it's already been announced on Facebook, an event has been created that a local Westbrook business, American Roots, has retooled their clothing factory to make face shields and masks. And just moments ago, we've been informed that they have provided an order for us here in the city of Westbrook of face shields to help protect our public safety personnel. And it's just amazing to have a business right in our backyard. They're located in the Dana Wart Mill in our downtown, providing and helping with this response all over the country and being able to help us right here in the city of Westbrook. So on Monday, in addition to story time with the mayor that will happen at 9 a.m. in the morning, we have a new book published that we'll be reading. We'll also be at 2 o'clock be doing, hopefully Facebook Live will work by then, doing a Facebook Live and a Zoom with our friends from American Roots and owner Ben Waxman. And he will be updating us on what they're doing, showing us the work that they're doing. And we as a community are going to try to provide some encouragement to their workforce to let them know that they're here to help and that we appreciate all the work that they're doing to help specifically our community and our nation as a whole. So we look forward to that event. And with that, I'll turn it over to Dan. Dan's going to talk about the Westbrook Warren Arts Foundation grant. He'll put it in the right term. It's a tongue twister there. And then also just update everyone on the Westbrook takeout and delivery support effort and briefly tell everyone about that. And we'll also be doing another Facebook Live, if that works, on Monday to announce our third winner of the program of a $100 gift certificate. So I'll turn it over to Dan. Dan, thank you for joining us today.
Mayor Foley, thank you so very much. I really want to give a big shout out to all of the business owners that are really struggling with a lot of uncertainty right now, and all of the workers as well. We certainly appreciate everything you're doing, especially, and not just the changing local environment, but the changing environment at the federal level as they're trying to get dollars pumped into directly into businesses in our local communities. That being said, I also want to let you know that the National Development Association has done an excellent job with it's an 8-page summary on the Coronavirus Relief and Economic Security Act, which is known as CARES, We will post the summary on our site. It has a lot of great information in it. Also, the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development has an excellent summary as well. So that's the best location to go to see what's happening with the programs as they change regularly. One other piece, though, that I wanted to focus a little bit on with respect to that is the Community Development Block Grant Program, which is part of that, is going to get additional dollars coming in. And what does that mean for us in the city of Westbrook? We belong to the Cumberland County Community Development Block Grant dollars, and which we will be receiving, meaning the county will be receiving approximately $920,000. Those dollars have to go toward the prevention of, preparation for, and response to the coronavirus. There's going to be more detail to come on that. Remember, those dollars aren't earmarked to Westbrook. They're earmarked to Cumberland County, which at some point we'll probably end up applying for a portion of those dollars. I'd like to talk now about the Westbrook Warren Memorial Foundation Emergency Arts Fund. Economic development staff has been working diligently with the Warren Memorial Foundation on getting this up and running as quickly as possible. I really would like a thank you to go out to Karen Michelle. This was her idea, and reached out to the city to see if we could partner, where the Warren Memorial Foundation has gifted City of Westbrook $50,000 in order to get it into the hands of local artists, whether they're actors or performing artists or visual artists or musicians or filmmakers that have been negatively affected by COVID-19. We've been able to put together a very user-friendly online application. It is going to be launched essentially immediately after we're done here today, and we encourage artists to go there, complete it, complete the application, upload any attachments, and we have a team ready to go to start reviewing these and getting them ready for grant awards. There is a caveat. We have to wait for the city council to have its second reading and vote May 4th, but we plan on being ready to announce the very next day. It will take 2 to 3 weeks for any grant awardees to receive checks in the mail, because that's how payment will happen. We're very excited about this because every little bit helps. Something that I see every day, and we read on the news, and we talk to each other. It's that cumulative effect of everything that everyone is doing that makes the greatest impact about what's happening. And that's clearly noted in our community in the city of Westbrook. So a little bit more to come, but again, we will put a big blast out today and continue to do so on the Westbrook Warren Memorial Foundation Emergency Arts Fund. Yes, and those will be in the form of grants. Also, the takeout and delivery support effort. We continue to push that out. We strongly encourage people to utilize our eateries in Westbrook that are staying open. There's, in place, we've noticed now, curbside pickup now. Restaurants, eateries have gotten really, really good at keeping the social distancing, making it safe to have this food get to. You've probably noticed the Frog and Turtles also has another service that they provided. In addition, where you can call in and order food as well as cooked food. So we're excited about that as well. We look forward, Mayor Foley, to having another drawer on Monday. I'm so glad you do that live. I think it has a human touch to it that people appreciate, and I think our small business community appreciates as well. So thank you very much for that. Those are my updates for right now. And as always, any workers or any businesses that have questions and not really sure where to go, we will direct you to the necessary websites you need to go to in order to fill out appropriate paperwork.
Those grant applications, those will be posted, available today.
They will be.
Okay, awesome. And thank you for your work. Everything that we've come up with has been done exponentially faster than normal than what we normally do for programs. So I appreciate our marketing communication staff and Dan with economic development to get these things up and running to better serve our businesses and ultimately our community. And today we were supposed to be joined by State Senator Heather Sanborn, who represents Portland and Westbrook, and she has kind of become sort of a regional expert in some of the federal programs supporting businesses, and she's been providing like a written blog. So if you're able to locate that blog, I'm not sure exactly where she posts it, you can get some more updates, but she's going to provide us some information. She will join us in the future at a future one of these Facebook Lives and Zooms, and she will provide us an update on the things and her experiences. She also is a business owner, the owner of Rising Tide Brewery in Portland. So she is entrenched in all these things and working hard to do delivery and all those things surrounding as a business owner is doing to keep their business afloat. So we look forward to hearing from her, to hear what she's doing and hear what resources are available with the state and federal government to help out our businesses. So thank you, Dan, for that specific update. It doesn't look like that we have any questions today. So we will, if none have come in or none come in the last few minutes, we've gone from about 20 to about 10 attendees. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop those in. If not, otherwise we will wrap up today's event. Thank you everyone for joining us. These are difficult times, and we are a strong community. And like I've said, we will get stronger after this is all said and done. Reminder, on Monday morning, 9 a.m., we'll have story time with the mayor. Those events have been posted, and I'll share them with our elementary schools and with daycares and stuff to get those out so people can tune in for that. And then at 2 o'clock, we'll hear from our friends at American Roots about the work that they're doing to help our community and the entire country with the creation of personal protective equipment after the retooling of their clothing factory. So thank you again to everyone for joining us today. Sorry for the technical difficulties with Facebook. Once we get completed here, we'll get that video rendered and posted so that everybody can tune in and watch this. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend and celebration of the various religious holidays this week. Passover, I believe, yesterday, Good Friday today, and Easter this weekend. So we wish everyone well. Let's keep our fingers crossed for some good weather so we can enjoy some time outside with our family, and look forward to seeing everyone in the future. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Thank you again to everyone for joining us.